Hey YouTube, I'm Kishan and welcome to the ultimate course for learning frontend. In this course, we will build two projects. The first would be the portfolio website and the second one would be the landing page website. The website would be fully responsive and it would be having awesome animations with the scroll reveal library. So we are going to use HTML5, CSS3, JAVASCRIPT, SASS and scroll reveal library for animations. Before proceeding further, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. So now let me give you the demo of both the websites. So the first one is the portfolio website. So here we have our navbar section. When we hover over this links, it changes to gradient. Then we have this hero section. Then we have the about section. We also have this animations. If you notice that, I'll reload the page. So these are the animations. For the animations, I have used the scroll reveal library. Let's go to the skills section. So these are the skills section. So this website has been made using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This is the portfolio section and we hover over this portfolio, the image scroll downs. This is the services section. This is the languages that the developer knows section. When you hover over the language image, it shows its actual color. This is the PNG. This effect is applied using the CSS filter. So this website is completely responsive. Let me show you that. I'll switch over to the mobile mode. We also have this responsive navbar. When we click over this toggle button, a second navbar comes from the right. When we click outside the section, it closes. Also, when we click in any of this link, it also closes. Like I'm clicking the skill here, so it has been closed. As you can see that the website is completely responsive. Let me increase the size. So we'll go to tablet mode. I'll close the navbar. And the second one is the landing page. So this is the navbar. Then this is our home section. This background is created using CSS clip path. Then we have the features section. Then we have the services section. Then we have the pricing section, and at the bottom we have our footer. Then this is scroll to top. When we click over this, it will scroll to the top of the page. You can see that it has the effect of fading in and fading out. Then we have created this custom scroll bar. Let me reload the page so you can see the animations. For animations, we have used the scroll reveal library. So as we scroll the page, the content would appear. Now this template is also responsive. Let me switch it to the mobile mode. So this is the mobile mode. Now we have this responsive navbar. Then the pricing section here is scrollable. Yeah, that's it. Now without wasting any further time, let's get started. Now I have opened my VS Code and I have also inserted this assets folder which have the assets of the project. You can find this from the description of the video. Now let's create the index.html. Then we'll create a scripts folder. Also we'll create an SCSS folder. Here inside we'll write the exclamation mark and hit tab, so it will generate the markup. Here we'll write your name. My name is Kishan Sheikh. Then inside the scripts we need to make two files, which is script.js and other is animation.js. Now inside the SCSS, first we'll create the index.scss, then we'll create a partial file which is base.scss, then we'll create navbar.scss, we'll create hero.scss, then we will create an contact.scss, we'll create footer.scss. Make sure that you write the underscore before the file name, because these all files are the partials and this would be imported in the index.scss file. Then we have the languages.scss, we have the media queries.scss, we have mixins.scss, I'm gonna create portfolio.scss, then we'll create an reusable styles.scss. It's SCSS, not CSS. Then we will have an scroll to top.scss. We then have the services.scss, and at the last we have the skills.scss. Now let's import all of those files inside this index.scss. So we'll write add keyword and write add import, then the file name, which is mixins.css. You don't need to write the SCSS here. We'll copy this, we'll paste it several times here, and now we'll select this by Ctrl D and erase it, and we'll write base and we'll write reusable, not here, reusable styles, then scroll to top, then we need the navbar, then we need the hero, we'll have the about. Hey, we forgot to create the about, we'll create it in a minute. Then we have the portfolio, we have the services, we have the languages, we have the contact, then footer, and at last we have the media queries. Now let's create the about.scss. Make sure this is a partial to include the underscore before the file name. Okay, save this, and from the tab of the VS Code I'm gonna click this What SASS button. If you don't have this button, you can install it from the extensions, and you can select here Live SASS Compiler, this one. Okay, I'll hit this, so it will generate the index.css and index.css.map files. We are gonna import this index.css in the index.html. The head section will write link css index.css. Save it. Also, we are going to import the scripts here. Script source. Inside the scripts, we have the script.js. Copy this, paste it, and we'll replace the script with animation. Okay, so the files have been created. Now what we'll do is we'll go inside this base.scss, and let me start the live server. I'll close this and open it in here, localhost colon 5000. It's 5500. Okay, so the page is here. Now let's reset some styles. By the star selector, we'll give margin of 0, padding of 0, and the box sizing of border box. Save it. We'll select the HTML, give it a scroll behavior of smooth. We'll give it overflow X of hidden. We'll select the body. We'll give it a background color of hashtag 0b 0b 0b. It's 0, not O. See it? Now let's grab the font family from fonts.google.com. We go to fonts.google.com, and here we'll select the font outfit, and the styles we need is the 100, then we need the 300, we need 400, we need the 500, and the 700. Over to this import tab, copy this import, and we will paste it inside the top of our base.scss. Now here there is a font family, we'll also copy that, and in the body we'll paste it. Okay, so our fonts would have been changed. Okay, now we'll write UL list style type of none. So all the ULs would have a list style type of none. The bullets would not be there. Then we'll select the root selector here, and we'll create a variable named as gradient. The value would be linear gradient. It's not this separator, linear gradient is to the right. Then the colors for the gradient is hashtag C phi E3 phi and B. Then the other color would be 4 phi B 609. Save it. Then we will also give the scroll bar styling. So we'll select that WebKit scroll bar and we'll write the background color the same as the body background color. Copy this, paste it here, and then we will give it a width of 0.3 mm. Now again we'll select the WebKit scroll bar, but this time it would be the thumb property, and now we'll give it a background color of the green which we used in the gradient. Instead, okay, so our base.scss file is completed. Now what we'll do is we'll be start styling the nav bar. So now let's head over to the index.html, and inside here first we'll create the markup for our nav bar. Before doing that, we'll grab the font awesome library. So we'll search for CDN for font awesome. Not this one. We'll head over to the CDN.js and we'll copy this all.min.css. We'll paste it after here. Copy and paste. Save. And now inside our body, first we'll write the scroll to top. Inside it we have i.fas.fa-angle-up. We'll just have this section as in comment for now. Then let's create the nav with a class of navbar and a default margin. Inside it we have the brand container, the brand, then we have the h2 with our web developer, then a span which has 3.0. Now we need a class of toggle. It has a class of fa bars. Then we have our links. We have the UL. Inside the UL we have li, and inside all the li's we have the href. This is for the home. Write it this. I'll copy this line, paste it 3 times. We have the skills here. Replace it with skills. Portfolio. And the last would be the service. This is services. Now we have the li with I of FAS-FA-search. Paste it. Copy this and paste it 2 times. We are just gonna change this class here, which will change the icon. This is for the Twitter and this one would be for Instagram. Okay, that's it. Now we have a button. Inside the button we have the I with FAR FA ID card, and we will have a text. After leaving a space we'll write contact us. Save this. We'll close this. Okay, as you can see that all our content is here. Okay, it is here. So let's head over to the navbar.scss. I'll shrink this so you can see the changes. Now inside we'll select the navbar. We'll write display of flex, justify content of space between. It's between, so there would be space between, and we have an align items of center. We'll also give it a color of white, so all the font color would be white. You can see that there is a space between. Now let's write padding of 2 rem to top and bottom and 0 to left and right. Okay, now we'll go to our reusable styles and first we'll write a gradient class. We'll give it a background of variable gradient. Then what we'll do is we'll have the default margin class. Default margin, give it a margin of 0 and 14 rem of left and right. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll select the button. Let me switch the VS Code tab to this side, and we'll give the button of color of white. Then we'll give it a padding of 1 rem and 1.8 rem. We'll give it a text transform of uppercase. First let me write the background image, which is linear gradient, RGBA 255 255 255 and of 0, write a comma, and again RGBA 255 255 255 of 0, and we have another linear gradient with to right. The color would be DC E35B, DCE35B, and the other color would be 45B649. Save it. Okay, so the gradient is there. Let's give it a background origin of border box. Also give it a background clip of content box, and we'll give it a box shadow of 2 pixels, 1000 pixels, 1 pixel, and a color of 0B, 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 and the border type would be inset. Okay, then where did our gradient go? Let me figure out that. Okay, so we'll figure out the gradient of the button afterwards. Let's style the button further. We'll give it a border of solid, 4px of transparent. Then we'll also give it a display of flex, gap of 1 rem. We'll give it a align items of center. We'll give it a cursor of pointer. Okay, that's it. So yeah, That's all. We just missed the gradient of the button. Let me figure out that. Okay, so I found out what was the issue. We need to write background clip of content box, and the second property would be border box. Okay, so the gradient is here. Now let's style this further. So we'll go to the navbar.scss and we'll switch this to this side. We'll select the brand container, give it a display of flex, select the brand, select the H2, select the S span, we'll select the margin left and give it a 0.5 rem, save it. Then we'll select the font size property and give it a font size of 0.9 rem. Then we have the letter spacing, which is 0.1 rem, and we have the color, which is 45B649. Save it. Okay, the color is there. Now select the toggle, give it a display of none. Okay, then select the links, select the UL, give it a display of flex, align items of center and a gap of 3 rem, save it. So this all is in a straight line now. Now what we'll do is we'll select the LI. Inside the LI we have the A. We'll give it a text decoration of none. Color would be inherit, which would be white. And we'll select the hover here. And whenever we hover over this, we will change the text to the gradient text. Save it. Okay, I think we haven't created the gradient text. For the gradient text, we will go to the which file was it? Yeah, it is mixins. So we'll go to mixins and we'll create a mixin here. The name of the mixin would be gradient text. The background of this would be var gradient. We'll write WebKit background clip as text and we'll write WebKit text fill color of transparent. Save it. Yeah, the gradient are here. Now head over to the navbar.scss again, and now we will select the I and we'll copy this and paste it here. Okay, so the I also have this gradient color. We'll fix this in a minute. Now we'll select the button and we'll give it a padding of 0.5 rem. Okay, so that's done. So our navbar is completed. We have to fix this icons. Let me see that what is the issue here. I think we didn't apply the class perfectly. It should be FAB. Okay, yeah, the icons are here. So our navbar is completed. Now we will create this home section. So head over to the VS Code So now first let's create the markup. After this now we'll write a section with a class of hero and a class of default margin. We will also have an ID of home. Inside it we have a class of content. Inside it we have a title class. We have an h1 with hello guys. Another h1. I am Kishan, this could be your name here. Then we have the button. We have the I of class FAS, FA coffee. Just leave a space and write get started. Then we have another div with a class name of image. You have the image, we'll grab it from the assets and hero.jpg. You can grab these assets from the description of the video. Save it. Let me open this. Refresh this. Okay, the image and the button are here. The text is also here. Let's style this. We'll go to hero.css. Okay, we'll write hero. We'll write display of grid. We have grid template columns of 50% to both the section of the hello one and the image. Now we'll write overflow of hidden. Then we'll write height of 60 viewport height. Okay, then we'll select the content and we'll select the image. Let's style the content first. We'll give it a display of flex direction of column, justify content of center, align items of flex start. Then we'll give it a gap of 2 rem. Save it. Okay, where did it went? We'll select the title inside here. We'll select the h1. We'll give it a include of gradient text. Save it. Where did the text go? Did we do something wrong? Display flex direction column. Okay, it's here. Okay, I know what's the problem. I'll give it a font size of 6 viewport width. Okay, now we need to position this image so we'll be able to see the content. I'll give it a position of relative. We'll select the image. We'll select position as absolute. Then we'll give it a bottom of 0. We'll give it the height of 85 viewport height, width of 50 viewport width, and then object fit of cover. It should be cover. Yeah. So that's it. Our home section is styled. There is no dot here. Let's do that. Let's go to the index.html. And here we're at a dot. Save it. Okay, the icon is not coming. We need to figure out what's the issue there. I think we won't have applied the class properly. Yeah, it should be coffee. Yeah, class is here. Both are identical. Now let's create the spring. So for that, let's write the markup first. So what we'll do is, after this section, we'll write spring with a class of write and an ID of spring1. Save it. Inside we have an coil and we have a bar with a class of gradient. Save it. Now let's go to the reusable styles. Reusable styles, and inside here at the bottom of the file we'll select the spring. We'll give it a display of flex, line items of center, margin of 6 rem and 0. Save it. Now we'll select the coil. We'll give it a border top of white with a dashed and a 0.1 rem. Okay, it should be here now. It's coil. Okay, there is some mistake. Spring coil. Let's write the bar also. Bar with 0.5% height of 7 rem. Okay, the bar is here, but we don't have the coil. Let's go to the index.html. What do we have written here? Coil. Yeah, that's right. So the coil has the border top of white, dashed and 0.01 rem. It's still not coming. Let's write the write class. Spring.write flex direction of row reverse. Okay, the coil, coil, and we also need to give it a width of 49.75%. Yeah, so the spring is here. So our home section is completed. Now we'll design this about section. So now let's write the markup for the about section. We'll go to index.html, and after this div we'll create a section with a class name of about. Inside we will create a title container. This title container would be reusable and it would be used in every sections. Then we have the text as institutional. Then again we have a p tag, and we are going to copy this text from here, paste it, save it, and after the title container we have a div named as container, class named as container, and we have a class name of image. Inside we have an image with a source of assets and institutional. Save it. Then after this div we have the play button. This would have a class of fab, then fa dash Google Play. Hit tab and save it. Okay, we need to refresh this page. The image is here. Now let's head over to the reusable styles first. Then at the end we will write the reusable styles for the title container. We'll select title container. We'll give it a display of flex direction. Sorry, it's a flex direction of column, align items of center, margin bottom of 9 rem, should be 6 rem. We'll give it a text line of center as well. Let me switch this to this side and save it and show you. Let me change the color so that you can see it. H2 would have a color of white. Save it. Here's our H2, and the P would have a color of RGB 153 153 153. Save it. Yes, these both are identical. Now let's move on to about.css to style the component. Go to about.css. We'll select the about class. We'll give it a container selector. Then we'll give it a display of flex direction of column, align items of center, and a position of relative. Save it. Let me scroll this down. Now we'll select the image. Select the image and we'll give it a height of 25 rem, width of 50 rem, and an object fit of cover. So I'm gonna comment this object fit now. So I'll explain this property in a minute and save it. So you can see that the image is stretched now. So it is not in center. When we apply this object fit property, the image would be in center, so it won't be stretched. Okay, now we need to have this play button in here. So I'll select the play and I'll select the I, and I'll just include gradient text. Okay, so the play button is visible now. Then I'll give it a font size of 10 rem. Okay, now I'll give it a position of absolute and I'll give it a top of 30% and I'll give it a cursor of pointer. Okay, that's it. So now we have completed our about section. Now we'll style the skills section. Let me copy this so you don't have to come this page. We also need to create this spring. We'll do that. We'll maximize this and we'll go to index.html file and what we are gonna do is first we'll paste the text here. We'll copy this spring, paste it. Sorry, I didn't copy it. Copy this and we'll paste this here. We are gonna remove this right class and we are gonna also remove this spring 1 from here and we'll write here spring L1. Copy this again and now we'll write section dot skills with the class of default margin and the ID would be scales. Save it, and inside this we will be using our reusable title container class. So that write title container. Alright, H2 with main skills Right P and paste the text here. Now we have this content div. We have the skill. Inside it we have the container circular. Inside the circular we have the inner. Then we have the number. This would be 42%. Then we have the circle. Inside it we have bar with the class of left. Inside it we have the progress. Now we have a bar of right, and this also has the progress. And now after 1, 2, 3, 4 F, we'll write an H3. This would be our text, our skill, and then development. Okay, so save this, and we are going to copy this skill and paste it 3 times. Now we are going to just change the text in here. Here it should be 100%, and this is backend development. This is for the mobile development, and this should be 34. You can change this values if you want to. Mobile app development, and we have the 20% again, and here we'll write full stack development. Save it. So that is done. Now let's move on to the skills.scss. Before doing that, I'll like to add some reusable styles here, which will be H3, the color of white, and the P would have a color of RGB 129, 128, 128. Save it. Now while we are here, let's also add another class, design. We go to position of relative, background with height 10 rem, width 12 rem, background of linear gradient right, and the colors would be C5, C5, E3, 5B, and other would have 4, 5, V6, 4, 9. Save it. We go to position of absolute, Z index of 1, left of just the left of minus 10 pixels, and a top of minus 8 pixels. Save it. So this won't be useful in this section, but it would be useful in the services and portfolio. We just completed it now, so we don't have to open this reusable styles. I'll close this, and we'll now move on to the skills.css and have the markup, have the styles for the skills. So I'll shrink this tab in here. Okay, so our title container is styled but we just need to style the skills. So I'll select the skills and select the content, give it a display of flex, save it, so it would be row, and justify content of center and a gap of 2 run. Okay, then inside this we have the skill, we give it a display of flex, flex direction of column, align items of center and a gap of 2 run. Save it. This should have did some changes. Let's see the markup that we messed it up. Content. Okay, we'll have to write skills. Yeah, that's applied. Now head over to skills.css. Now outside this we'll have this circular. We'll give it a height of 100 pixels, width of 100 pixels. We'll give it a position of relative, and we'll select the inner. We'll give it a position of absolute. Save it, and we'll give a z index of 10. We'll give it a top of 50%, left of, not length, left of 50%, and we'll give it a height of 80 pixels, width of 80 pixels, margin of minus 40 pixels, 0 0 minus 40 pixels. See that? You won't be able to see the difference here because we haven't applied the colors, so we'll do that. Background 0b, 0b and 0b. Okay, that's still not visible. Let's style it further first. Border radius would be 100%. Okay, let's select the number and the bar. We'll give the bar as position absolute, height of 100%, width of 100%. Save it. We'll give it a background of var gradient. Okay, you can see that the square is here now. Now we'll give it a bucket border radius bucket radius would be 100%. Then we'll write clip rectangle 0 pixels, 100 pixels, 100 pixels and 50 pixels. Okay, now we'll transform rotate 250 degree. Okay, that's it. Now we'll select the number, we'll give it a position of absolute. Okay, this is position of absolute. Save it, and we are going to give it a top of 50%, left of 50%, we'll give it a transform of translate minus 50%, minus 50%. We give it a Z index of 12. We give it a font size of 18 pixels. Font weight would be 500. Color would be RGB 153 153 153. Yeah, that's visible now. And now we'll also I think we're gonna change this to 1.3 RAM. 1.3 RAM, and we'll give it a font weight of 700. Save it. Yeah, that's looking good. So we just need to change the size now. So we are gonna, after all of this, we are gonna select the 3 bar, ellipse, rectangle, 40 pixels, 100 pixels, 100 pixels, and 30 pixels. We'll select the 2 bar, ellipse would be unset. Also we'll select the 4 from here. That's it. Now let's give this 3 to 4. So head over to index.html and select the second container, give it a class of 2, save it. So that is applied. Now give this a 3 and this one the 4, save it. So the changes have been applied and our skills section has been completed. So now we'll be doing this portfolio section. So let's head over to the VS Code. So now head over to the index.html, and after this section we are gonna copy this spring first. We need the right one. We're gonna copy this, paste it. We'll change the ID to spring 2, and now we have the section dot portfolio with default margin class and an ID of portfolio. Now we have the title container, our portfolio, we're going to copy the p text from here, paste it. Now after this skills, this portfolio, in the portfolio after the title container we are gonna have another container class, design, background, and portfolio container. This would have an h3 agency website. We are going to copy this from here, paste it. Then we have an image here, assets, portfolio1.png. So this is completed, and after leaving 3 divs. I think we missed something. Let me check. Okay, so we have an image div here. Copy this inside this. Copy this portfolio div. And after these 3 divs, we'll paste this portfolio div and write it 2 here. Now we are going to copy this design div, copy, paste, and in the design we'll be writing here right. Save this. Let's go to the file. Yeah, you can see that design is here. Second design is also here. We need to change this to portfolio 3. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now let's head over to the portfolio.scss, and here we'll have the portfolio. Let me go up here. We'll give it a position of relative first, then we'll select the container. We'll give it a display of grid template. Columns would be repeat 3 with 1 free fr. Then we have a color of white, gap of 2 rem. Then we'll select the portfolio container. Give it a display of flex direction of column, and align items of center. Since these changes are not visible, we'll first change the image. Give the width of 250 pixels, height of 250 pixels, overflow hidden, and a display of block. Save it. Yeah. Now let's fix the image. We'll give it a width of 100%. And we'll give it a height of auto. Give it a Z index of 0. Margin of 0. Padding of 0. We can remove this property. We don't need this because we have done it in the base.scss as the star selector. Now let's give it a top of 0%, and a left of 0 as well. Yeah, that's it. We'll give it a transition of top 3 seconds, top 3 seconds. Now let's style this container first. We need to give it a gap of 1 rem. Then we will give it a background color of #181818. Also we'll give it a padding of 2 rem and the text align of center. This should be behind, so let's fix that. We'll head over to reusable styles, and inside the design we have to give the z index as -1. Okay, so it is behind. Now we'll also select right from here, give it a background, top of auto, left of auto, height would be -10 pixels, and bottom would be -8 pixels as well. Save it. Yeah, this is perfect now. Now when we hover over this image, this should scroll. Let's complete that inside the portfolio. Now we'll give it a position of relative, border radius of 1 rem. It should be 1 pixels. Yeah, and we'll give it a margin of 0 and auto. Now let's write the style property for the moving of the image. We'll write webkit transition all 3 seconds, and when we hover, we'll give a top of -300%. We'll again select the webkit transition and give it all of 3 seconds, and we'll give transition all of 3 seconds. This should work now. Let's write mouse transition. Okay, I got here we have to write webkit transition of bottom. It's still not working. Let's write the mouse transition as bottom 3 seconds. We'll give it ms transition bottom of 3 seconds. O dot transition, this should be transition. This would be bottom of 3 seconds. This property would be last. Okay, this is still not working. Let's copy all of this. This should work now. So okay, we forgot to write position of absolute here. Yeah, that's working. Okay, there is a glitch here. We need to fix that. So after this transition, we'll write ampersand end of type, and 2 we'll select image, select the image, ampersand hover, top would be -345%, and we will just copy this and select the third and give it a 390%. Now to fix this bug, we have to write margin of 0 and padding of 0, and here the height would be 150 pixels. Okay, the bug has been fixed and it is working perfectly now. Our portfolio section is completed. Let's add the spring. Head over to index.html and I'll paste the spring. Yeah, the spring is here. So now we'll style the services section. Head over to the VS Code and now we'll write the markup for the services. So I'll write section with class name of services with also default margin, and we have the ID as the services. Inside it we have the title container first, then we have the our services. Let's copy the services text from here, paste it. Now we have the container. We first have the design, background, then we have the service. Inside the service we have an I with a class of FS, FA, globe, ECR. We have an H3 of website pro, and the E would be copied from here, paste it, and after leaving this two divs, we are first going to copy the service, paste it. We are going to paste it 4 times. This is first, second, third, and fourth. Now we are going to write design. This design would be right. Then we have the background. Inside it we have this. Okay, this is here. Now let's change the content. We can have the e-commerce, commerce, maybe this class would be this is not a div, this is I. We need to change this to I with a class of a class FS, FA globe. Same goes for here. I dot class of FAS, FA dash shopping cart. Save it. This would be I dot FAS, FA mobile alt, mobile apps. Here the icon would be IAFAS, FA layer group, web application. Okay. Now we have digital marketing. then copy this, paste it here, and the icon would be I.FA signal. Last would be brand creation. It, and the icon would be of I.FARFA light bulb. We have our icons and everything here. Now let's style this. Head over to the services.scss file and we are going to select the service container display of grid template columns of repeat v of 1fr gap would be 2 them. Give it, yeah, that's good. Now we'll select the design. We don't need to do this, we already did this, so we'll select the service, create a background color of 181818. Now we'll give it a padding of 2 run, display of flex direction of column, gap of 1 run, and align items of center, and the text align of center. It's text align of center. Save it. Now what we are gonna do is select the I, include radian text, font size be 2.5 run. We missed something here. Go to index.html and figure that out. I think the class name is right. We have the background. This should be outside the background. Yeah, that's all. So our services is also styled. Let's add the spring before the portfolio. Copy this. This is spring 3. Okay, so our services is completed. We just have to add this languages. Let's also add a spring here again. This string would be spring L3. We don't have the right here. Yeah, that's all. That's the last string we need. That should be here. Yeah. Okay, we are done. Now let's write the markup for languages. So now we'll have a class name section with the class name of languages. Also we'll add the default margin. We'll have a class name of container, language, image, assets, language 1. Copy this, paste it 4 times. We are just going to change this to 2, 3, 4 and 5. Save it, and you can see that images are here. Let's style this. Head over to the languages.scss. Inside We'll select the languages container, give it a display of flex, save it. Okay. Let's go to index.html and languages last name was not correct. Then we have the justify content of center and a gap of 4 em. Let's select the image language, and the image have a height of 7 em. Save it. Yeah, that's good. Now let's apply the filter. Filter would have a brightness of 0 and then invert of 1. Save it. Now that's working. We have to fix this for this logo, Gatsby logo. We'll do that later. Now we have the transition property, 0.5 seconds is enough. Now we'll have the person over and write filter of none. Okay, so these all are working. We have to fix for fourth, which is the Gatsby logo. We'll use the nth of type selector, nth of type for image, and we'll give the filter of grayscale 100 and then invert of 1. Save it. We have to remove the filter. Save it. Yeah, that's working. So our languages section has been styled. Now we have this contact section. Let's head over to the VS Code and write the markup for that. So now after this we are going to have a section with the class name of contact, and we have a default margin. We have the left class. Inside the left we have the title, we have the bar, page 3 which says let's talk, P. We're gonna have this content copied, save it, and now after this div we have a form, input of type text, placeholder would be name, input of type email, placeholder is email, input of type tell, placeholder is number, then we have button with contact, save it, then we have the right class. In the right we just have the image, assets contact.jpg. Okay, so let's head over to contact.css and style this. Let me shrink this. Contact display would be flex, margin would be 4 rem and 20 rem, 4 rem 20 rem, then we have a gap of 3 rem. We'll select the right first, right, and we'll select the image. We'll give the height of 30 rem, width of 26 rem, and an object fit of cover. Save it. Yeah, the image is proper now. Now let's select the left part. So first we'll select the title. Inside the title we have the bar. We'll give it a height of 0.5 rem, width of 5 rem. Background would be where gradient. Okay. Now we'll also give it a margin bottom of 1 rem. Now we'll select the form. We'll give it a display of flex direction of column, justify content of center, and align items of flex start. We will supply a margin of 2 rem to top and bottom, and we will also give it a gap of 1 rem. Now we'll select the input. We'll give it a padding of 0.8 rem, 9 rem, 0.8 rem, 1 rem. Okay. Now we'll select the background color. Background color of transparent. We'll give it a border of 1 pixel solid, RGB 129, 128, 128. Save it. We'll give it a color of white. Yeah. So our contact section has also been styled. Now we have to style this footer and this lower footer. So head over to the VS Code and open the index.html to write the markup. So now we'll have the footer with the class name of footer. Then we'll have our class name of section. Inside it we have class name of brand. We have h2 of portfolio. Save this. Then we have this p. The contents would be copied from here. Then we have an UL with the class name of social. We are going to have a 4 li. Inside the li we have I. We're going to copy this, paste it, and the I would have a class FAB, Facebook, F, and this one has a class of FAB, FA, Instagram. This one has a class of FAB, FA, Twitter. This one has FAB, FA, linked, in. Save it. Now after this UL we have another section. This has h3 with the class name of title, get in touch. Save it. Then we're gonna have UL, and inside the UL we are gonna have this content. We're gonna copy this. I'll select this by alter. Write li in front of this. Copy. We also have the I class, and here we have the li. That's done. Now let's add the class name. Class of FAS, FA phone. Class of FA envelope of open, and here we have a class of FA building. Now let's copy this section, H3 with title. Gonna paste it. I'll copy this our services and paste it inside this. We have UL. We will copy this, select this by Alt, li, copy this, and at the end I'll write the li. So this is done. Now again, section h3.title, popular tags, UL, content will be copied from here, paste it, li, cut, paste. We don't need spaces here, save it. So the footer part is done. Now we also have this lower footer. This has two spans. We will copy the content of the span from here. Save it. So the content would not be visible because of the color. Let's go to the footer.css and have some styles. Footer, let me shrink this. We'll give it a display of grid template columns of repeat 4 with 1fr. Let's give it a background color first of #181818. Give it a gap of 5rem, padding of 5rem and 14rem, color of RGB 128, 128 and 128. This should be 129. Yeah. Then we have the section H2, include gradient text. We'll give the font size of 3rem, margin bottom 1rem, and now we'll select the title. Color would be white, margin bottom of 1.3rem. We'll select the social UI, flex direction of row, margin top of 1rem, gap of 1rem. I would have a font size of 1.2rem. Okay, this should have display flex. Yeah, that's great. Don't need this. Now let's select the button. Button would have margin top of 1rem, box shadow of 2 pixel, 1000 pixel, 1 pixel, and 181818 insert. Did we just forget to add the button? Yeah, we forgot to add the button. So head over to index.html and inside the second section, yeah, here after the UL we have the button. It says send a message. Okay, that's great. Now head over to footer again, and inside the footer we just completed the button styles. Now we'll select the UL, give it a display of flex direction of column, gap of 0.6 rem. Okay, we need to apply flex direction of row here. Row. That's great. Now here we'll write li display flex gap of 1 rem, transition of 0.5 seconds is in out, and when we hover over this we need to change the color to gradient text, and we have the cursor property of pointer. Save it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now let's style this tag first. Tags, display of flex direction of row, flex wrap of wrap. Save it. We'll select the li, we'll give it a padding of 0.5 rem, width of max content, and we have a border of 1 pixel solid, RGB 129, 128, 128, and when we hover over this li %hover, we want the color to be white, and the important property here, and we'll include gradient text. Okay, so yeah, okay, this should be in the tags format. We did some mistake here. Flex direction row, flex wrap of wrap. Did we forget to mention the tags class? Yeah, we need to mention tags here. Okay, so perfect. This is also styled. We just need to style the lower footer now. For that, go to footer.css. At the end, we'll select lower footer. Give it a color of RGB 129, 128, 128. Display flex direction of space between, and a padding of 1 rem and 14 rem. Okay, this is not working. Display flex direction. Okay, this should be justify content, not flex direction, justify content. Okay, perfect. So our template is almost complete. We just have to add the scroll to top functionality, then we have to add the responsiveness, and we have to add the animations. So let's add the scroll to top functionality first. Head over to VS Code. Let's match this. So now head over to the index.html, and we'll uncomment this code, scroll to top, and we'll go to scroll to top .css. Now we'll write scroll to top. We'll give it a position of fixed. We'll give it a bottom of 40 pixels, right of 40 pixels, a background color of hashtag 303030. Let me switch this to this side so you can see that. Now save it. It's not visible still. Okay, I'm gonna give it a Z index of 20, and I'm gonna give it a padding of 1 rem and 1.3 rem. We will also give it a border radius of 5 rem. I think we need to refresh this page. Yeah, it's here now. Now we'll give it a cursor of pointer, and now we'll select the eye and we'll include the gradient text. Save it. We'll increase the font size to 1.5 rem. Save it. Yeah, so this has been styled. Now we have to add the JavaScript functionality for this. So whenever we scroll to height, then only it shows, and when we scroll to the top again, we need to hide it. So head over to the script.js, and inside here we'll write const scroll to top is equals to document dot query selector, and we'll select the scroll to top class, scroll to top, and now we'll add an event listener to this of click. Whenever we click on this, we want the window to scroll to the top of 0. We can see that this functionality would be working. Yeah, it's working. Now we have to show and hide this scroll to top based off this window height. So we'll select window dot add event listener of scroll. Whenever the window dot page by offset would be greater than 100, we need to add scroll to top dot style dot display equal to block, and whenever it's less than 100, we want this to none. Save this, and it should be working. Yeah, you can see that it is working. Yeah, so our scroll to top functionality has been completed. Now we'll be adding the responsiveness to this template. You can see that it just messes up when we switch over to the responsive mode. So let's fix that. So now head over to the media queries files and we'll write a media query here by at media screen and min width of 280 pixels and max width of 1080 pixels. Okay, let me switch this to this side. Yeah, so let's select the body first and give it an overflow X of hidden. Then we'll give it a default margin. Change this margin to 0 and 10 viewport width. Now we'll select the nav bar. We'll select the brand container. Give it a display of flex. Justify content of space between. Align items of center and gap of 2 rem. Width of 100%. Then we'll enable the toggle button by display of block, and we want to hide the links. So what we'll do is we will have this kind of effect. So this is another nav, so we will create this now afterwards. First let's style this whole template. Then we'll select the hero. We'll give it a margin of 0 and 10 viewport width. We'll select display of flex direction of column reverse. We'll give it the height of 100%. We'll give it the gap of 2 rem. Then we'll select the content. We'll give it align items of center. We'll select the title, select the H1, give it a font size of 3 rem. And now we'll select the image, give it the position of initial, select the image, give it a position of initial as well. Then we'll give it the height of 100% and a width of 100%. Save it. Okay, so image is visible. So our hero section is styled. Now we need to style this about. Select about. We'll give it a margin of 0 and 10 viewport width. And we'll select the image. We'll give it a width of 100%. Mark it as important. This didn't have any change, I think. Let's refresh this. Okay, I think this should be outside of this. Yeah, okay, that is working now. Now we'll select the portfolio, yeah, portfolio, the container, grid template columns would be 1FR, and the portfolio container padding would be 1 rem. We'll select the image, width would be 200 pixels. We are styling the portfolio, which is here. 200 pixels. Image %hover. Top would be -240 percentage, and it has the important property hover over this. Yeah, this works perfectly. Now we need to change the other properties as well. Ampersand nth of type to dot image img %hover. Top would be -246 percentage. This should be also working. Yeah. Now we need to style the skills. So we'll select the skills. We'll select the content and just give the flex direction to column. Only column, not column reverse. We also have to give a justify content of center. I think text align of center would be better. Text align center, yeah, it's in center now. Now let's style the services. Or services, we'll select the services, container, flex direction of column, align items of center. I don't think this style should be applied here. We'll just write grid template columns of 1FR. Yeah, that's great. We just need this property only. Then we'll select the language, select the container, flex direction of column, and align items of center. Languages. Yeah, that's great. Now let's select the contact. For this, contact, flex direction of column, margin of 2 rem and 10 viewport width, gap of 5 viewport width. We'll select the left, select the form, select the input, padding right of 10 viewport width. Yeah, this left section is styled. Now we'll select the right, select the image, and the width would be 100%. Yeah, that's great. Now let's select the footer. We'll just give it the padding of 5 viewport width and 10 viewport width. Grid template columns of 1FR, gap of 10 viewport width. Yeah, that's styled. And just lower footer, flex direction of column, text align of center, padding 5 viewport width, and gap of 1 rem. Yeah, so the responsiveness is there. Now we have to add the toggle button here, and we also need to add the navbar. So first we'll go to the here and we'll see why the toggle button is not being displayed. FA bars. Let me check if it is correct. Yeah, the class is correct. FS, FA bars. Navbar, toggle, display block. Yeah, now it is visible. Okay, so head over to index.html, and now we are going to add in another div of responsive navbar. So after this, responsive navbar, we'll have the brand here. We are just gonna copy this line, copy, paste, then we'll have the links. For that we are gonna also copy this, the entire content, UL. Now we just add class here. We'll select all this by Alt. Class equal to nav link. Save this. You can see that other nav is here. Now we also need to style this navbar, so we will go to the navbar.sass, and here we will first add a show class which would have an opacity of 1 with important, visibility of visible, and that would be important, and a right of 0 with important. Now we'll select the responsive navbar. The position is fixed, top of 0, right of 0, right of 0, then a height of 100%, height of 100%, width of 70%, also a background color of black, then we'll give it a Z index of 100, then we'll give it a display of flex direction of column, we'll give it line items of center, opacity of 0, we'll initially give it a first one, visibility of visible. Let's make this hidden and this 0. Comment this for now, and we have a transition of 0.4 seconds, is and out, color of white, padding of 3 rem. Okay, now we'll have this brand. We are gonna copy this text from this, this one, copy, paste, give it a display of flex, margin bottom of 2 rem. That's good. Now let's change the font size, 1.2 rem. Now we have the links. For the links, we have the UL, margin would be to viewport width, then we have the LI, margin would be to viewport height, and we have A, text, decoration of none, color of inherit, save it. Now we give it a font size of 2.5 viewport height and the cursor of pointer. I will select the UL and give it a display of flex. So head over to index.html and this all three would be inside an UL. Save it. Yeah, that's perfect. So our navbar is styled. We have to add the functionality for the navbar now. So head over to navbar.css and initially we are gonna give this to -350 pixels, visibility will be 0. Yeah, so this won't be visible. This would be visible when we click this toggle button. So head over to scripts.js, now we'll select the HTML, document.query selector, HTML, then we'll also select the responsive navbar by document.query selector responsive navbar and responsive navbar.add event listener. Click. We need the e stop propagation. Yeah. Now let's select the responsive toggle. And whenever we select the responsive toggle, we need to add this event listener. We need to stop the propagation first, and we will, from the responsive navbar, we will toggle the class which is show. Save this. Okay, so it is working. Now we need to work on the closing functionality of the navbar. So we will add an event listener on HTML of click responsive navbar dot classlist dot remove show. Let's test this. When we click here in the HTML, this should close. Yeah, this is working. Now we'll select all the nav links. Nav links equal to document.query selector all, and we will select the nav links. Nav link, yeah. And for all the nav links, we'll have a loop. We will need this link We'll add an event listener of click. Whenever we click on the nav link, we want to remove the class show from responsive navbar. Class test dot remove show. Yeah, that should work. Okay, so our responsive navbar is also completed. So you can see that our template is responsive now. Okay, it is completely responsive. Okay, so we just have to add the animations now. So head over to VS Code and inside the index.html. So now head over to the index.html and at the end, before the script.js, we are going to import another script, which is the link would be https://unpackage.com/scroll reveal. Save it and head over to the animation.js file and we're gonna write const sr is equals to scroll reveal. We're gonna pass origin of top, distance of -80 pixels, duration of 2000 and a reset of false. Save this and we are going to reveal this sr.reveal. We're going to use backticks and after the backticks we need interval of 300. Save it and now inside the backticks we are going to write nav, then the hero, then the about, then the skills and the portfolio, then we have the services, then we have languages, then we have contact, we have the footer and we have the lower footer. Save it, head over to the browser and refresh. Okay, this is not working. sr.reveal, everything is perfect here. Yeah, let me see if we root this scroll reveal, scroll reveal, scroll reveal unpackage.com scroll reveal. Yeah, this is perfect. We need to refresh this. Okay, let me figure out this issue. I'll pause the video. Okay, so I found the issue. We need to remove this. Only a single column would be here. And when we go here, yeah, that is working. Now we also have to apply the animations on the spring. So head over to the animation.js and now we are going to copy this, paste it, again we'll paste it. This is sr2, the origin would be right, distance would be 50%, duration would be 33,000. We'll copy this, we place it here, and instead of right we'll use left here. This is sr3, sr2 dot reveal. So here first this, and the interval would be of no, we don't need to give an interval. We'll just select by id of spring 1, id of spring 2, id of spring 3. Save it. Yeah, this one's working. Now let's copy this and do the same for the left spring. sr3 spring l1, l2, l3. Save it. Okay, so the animations have been applied perfectly. So we have completed this portfolio website. Let me give you a demo of this again. So this is navbar, this is the hero section. We'll refresh this for the animations. This is the about section. This is the skills section. This is the portfolio section. This is the services section, the languages, contact section, and the footer section. So that's it. So now I have created this base setup. Here you can find that we have this index.html. Then we have the styles folder. Inside that we have the base folder. Then we have this base partial. Here I have imported the Google Fonts of Roboto, and we have this variables of colors. Then we have the components that we are going to use and that are imported in the index.scss file. Then we have the scripts. This has the animation.js and script.js. Both are empty. You can find this base setup in the GitHub branch given in the description of the video. So now, without wasting any further time, let's get started. First we'll have our home section. So before that, we'll create the markup for our index. So I'll write exclamation mark. Then VS Code will automatically generate the code. Then in the styles folder, we have index.scss. I'll write here watch SASS. This will automatically generate index.css. This is a plugin, live size compiler. You can install it using the VS Code extensions. Then inside here, I'm gonna change this title to analytics, and here I'll write link, and the path would be index.css, and in the body at the end I'll write script source, and the source would be script.js. I'll copy this, paste this, and I'll change the script.js to animation.js. That's it. Now we'll create a wrapper app. Inside this, all our content would be there. Then here we have section dot home. This is the home container. Then inside that we have main container. Inside that, first we will have the backgrounds. We have two backgrounds. First is image styles, not in the styles, it would be in the assets and background.svg. Here we'll write background. This would have class of background 1. Then we'll just copy this, and after this would be background2.svg, and this would be background 2. Save it, and after this div, we have our nav bar. Inside the nav, we'll first have the brand container. Inside the brand container, we have brand. In the brand, we'll have our logo, which is in the assets logo.svg. Here we'll write logo. Then after this, we have div with a class name of toggle. Inside that, we'll have image source assets, and here we'll write toggle.svg, and the alternate text should be toggle. Okay, so after this, we have the links container. Inside that, we have UL with class name as links container UL. Inside that, we have li and a, and we'll just write this hash and products. Then I'll just copy this, paste it, and we'll just change the content. This would be pricing, this would be FAQ, this would be blog. I'll just save this, and after this UL, we have div with a class name of auth buttons. Inside that, we have two buttons. First is for sign in, and the second one is for sign up. Okay, that's it. So our nav is complete. Then we have the home container. Inside the home container, first we'll have the content. Inside that, we have an title container. Inside the title container, we have our image, which is the path is assets and home1.svg. So here we'll also provide the alt as home, and we'll also need a class. So the class is home hyphen title and hyphen image. This image will only be visible in the responsive mode. In the desktop mode, it would be hidden. Then after this, we have an h1 with class name of title. Here we'll write monitor your business on real time dashboard. After this h1, we have an p tag with class name of description. I'll copy the content from here, paste it. It's just a simple lorem ipsum text. And after this p, we'll have a button which has text as try for free. Save this, and after this section, we have another section which is for the home images. Here we'll just write image container div. Inside that, we have two images from the assets, and this is home1.svg. This would be home, and class would be image1. Save this, copy this, and here we'll just change the image1 to image2 and home1.svg to home2.svg. That's it. So markup for our home is completed. Let's open this file with live server. Okay, so images and content is here. Let's style this. So I'll head over to the home.scss file. first, and here let me shrink this so you can see the code. We'll write home. We have height of 102 viewport height. Then we'll give it a background color of var pink. So this pink is for this background. Will then clip this using CSS clip path. Okay. Then we'll use clip path polygon. Then we'll supply 0 space 0, then 100%, 0%, then again 100%, and this time this would be around 78%, then 0 and 100%. Save this, and yeah, we have our CSS clip art shape. Now we'll give it a margin bottom of 4 rem. So before doing that, we have some margin here. We need to remove this. We'll do this in base.scss. So let's head over to base.scss, and here what we'll do is first we'll have the star selector and give it a margin of 0 and a padding of 0. We'll also supply box sizing of border box. So all the elements have default margin and padding. This will remove that. Then here we'll also have HTML scroll behavior of smooth. This is for smooth scrolling. Then we'll select the app and give it a background color of var background. Then we'll also give it a font family of Roboto, which is in the variable. So we just have to write font family. After that, we'll give it a position of relative and overflow X of hidden. Okay, that's it for that. Now let's while we are here, let's also style the scroll bar. So we'll write WebKit scroll bar, background color of var primary color. Then we'll give it a width of 0.2 rem. So this will just style this background, and for the thumb we have to write WebKit scroll bar thumb. I'll use the shorthand property for which is given in the SASS. We'll write background color of var pink and a border radius of 1 rem. Okay, the pink scroll bar is here. Now let's style this home container. I go to home.scss, and now we'll select the main container here. Main container. We'll give it the height of 100 viewport height. Then we'll give it a position of relative, background color of var primary color. Then we'll also give it a clip path. We'll copy this. This is the same clip path. Okay, so we have the effect here. Now let's provide it a padding. Padding would be 2 rem and 10 rem. Then let's align the backgrounds now. Backgrounds. This is background 1. We'll give it a position of absolute, and we'll give it a left of 0 and a top of 0. Background 1. Is this working? Let me check this. I'll provide display of none. Okay, it's working, and it's not working for background 1. Let's check the index.html and check what class name we gave that. Okay, So this is background, save it. Okay, it's working now. Let's head over to home.scss and remove this display none. It's been aligned. Now copy this, paste it. So now here we'll write right of 0 instead of left, right of 0 and top of 0, and we'll also give it a height of 100 viewport height, and this is background 2. This is not working. Let's provide display none to this. Yeah, we have error in the class name. Okay, this is background 2. Head over to home.scss and remove this. Not height, we'll remove this display none. Yeah, that's working. So now we'll go to the nav.scss to style our navbar first. So navbar.scss will write nav here, display of flex, align item center, gap of 5 em, then we'll write brand container, we'll write toggle, and we'll remove this toggle in the laptop mode. We just need it in the mobile mode. So we'll write display of none. Then we'll have the links container. We'll provide as display of flex, justify content of space between, align items of center, and a width of 100%. Okay, then we'll have the UL. We'll also give it a display of flex, list style type, none. Then we'll provide gap of 6 rem. We'll select the LI inside it and the A inside it. We'll give it a color of where, secondary color, and a text decoration of none. After this we have the auth buttons. These are this side, auth buttons. We'll give it a display of flex, gap of 2 rem. Let me switch the VS Code to this side so you can see that, gap of 2 rem. Then we'll select button inside it and we'll provide background color of transparent. Also we'll give it a font family of where font family. Then we'll give it a padding of 0.5 rem and 2 rem, 0.5 rem, 2 rem. We'll provide border radius of 2 rem. Also we'll give it a border of 3 pixel solid where line. Now let's have the color. Color would be where secondary color. So now after this we will have cursor of pointer, and after this we'll select nth of type. We'll select the first, and we don't want border for this, so the sign in button would not have. Okay, we have some issue here. That's it. This sign in would not have the border, so that's it. So our navbar is styled. Now we will have this home. So let's head over to home.scss. and here our image is not loading. Why is that? Let's go to index.html and inside the title container home.svg, not svgs. The image is here. Now inside the home, after this background too, we will have the home container. Home container will give it a height of 100%. Then after the height, we'll select the content. Give it a display of flex direction of column, align items of flex start. Then we'll give it a gap of 2 rem, width of 50%, a height of 90%. Then we'll give it a justify content of center. Then we'll select the title container, give it a display of flex direction of column, a gap of 1 rem. Then we will select home title image and give it a display of none. Then after this we'll select the title, give it a color of white and a font size of 3.5 rem. And we'll select the description, we'll give it a color of where secondary color. For that we'll give it a font size of 1.1 rem. That's it. Now we'll select the button, we'll give it a color of white. This is color. Give it a background color of where pink. Give it a padding of 0.7 rem and 3.4 rem for left and right. Give it a border radius of 2 rem. We don't need the border. We'll give it a font family of where font family. Then we'll give it a font weight of bold and a cursor of pointer. So yeah, that's it for the title container. Now we have to have this images here. So after all of this, we'll have home images. Give it a position of absolute. Save it. Then we'll give it a top of 15 viewport height and a left of 55%. Then we'll select the image container, give it a position of relative, we'll select the image 1, give it a position of absolute, image 1, select the image and the size, max inline size would be auto. Instead of auto, we'll write 100%. And I think our image is not coming up. We have home image. Let's see if the class name is correct. Give it a display of none to check if it's going. No, we have a problem with the class name. We have home images. We have home images. Home images, okay, it's working now. So let's remove the display none and the images are here. After this image, we'll write image 2, give it a position of absolute, This is absolute, and we'll give it a top of 18 viewport height, left of -5 viewport width, and will provide the image a max inline size of 100%. That's it. So our home container and navbar is complete. So now we will have the features container. Let's head over to VS Code. So now we'll move on to the index.html and write the markup for services section, features section. So we have section with a class name of features. Inside that we have our title container. Inside the title container we have an h2 with main features, and this also has a class, and the class name would be title. Now we have a p tag with description as class name. We will copy the content from here. This is again lorem ipsum, paste it, and after this div we have the content div. Inside that we have feature. Inside the feature we have the image class. Inside that we have the image, and the source would be assets and features1.svg. So the alt would be feature. After this we have feature content. Inside that we have h4 with a class of title, and inside that we will write monitoring 24/7. Then we have p with description. We'll copy that again from here, paste it here, and that's it. So our feature is complete. Now let's copy this. Where is this completing? Yeah, here. So we'll copy this and paste it 2 times. Here we'll change the image to feature2.svg, and the title would be widget systems. We'll remove this 24/7, and we'll replace this description. Here this would be feature3.svg, and this would be best performance. Yeah, so that's it. So our markup is complete for the main features. I think we need to reload it. Yeah, it's here. Now let's head over to features.scss and write the styles. So first we'll have features. Inside that we'll give it a display of flex, a flex direction of column, gap of 3 rem, then we'll give it a margin of 5 rem, 0, then we'll give it a justify content of center, then we'll give it a padding of 0 and 10 rem, we'll give it a text align of center, then we'll select the title container, this has dash in between, we'll give it a display of flex direction of column, and a gap of 2 rem. Then we'll select the title, give it a font size of 2 rem, and a color of where primary color. Then we'll select the description, we'll give it a padding of 0 and 2 rem to left and right, and a color of where secondary color. After this, we'll give it a line height of 1.5 rem. That's it. Now we'll select the content. First, we'll give it a display of flex. Then we'll give it a gap of 3 rem. Select the feature. Give it a display of flex. Flex direction of column. Gap of 1 rem. Align items of center. We'll select the title and description. So let's copy the title and description from here. Copy, paste. We'll remove the font size. We'll remove the padding. That's it. So yeah, so our features section is also styled and complete. Now we will have this services. Now we'll create the services section. So after this section, I'll write section.services, and inside it we have div with a class of service and an ID of service number. This would be used for the animations. Inside this, we will have our content div, and inside that we have h2 for title. We will copy the title from here. Then after that we have description, so we have p.description. We'll copy this from here, paste it, and after this content div we have an image div. Inside that we have an image tag that would have assets and service1.svg, and this would be service. So now what we'll do is we'll copy this div of service and we will paste it 2 times, and in the second div we'll have this image and bring it to the top. Now we'll change this to service2. This would be service2 as well. The text would be this, and the description would be this. Save it, and now we'll copy the third one. Text and the description would be the same, and the image would be service3, and this would be service3 as well, the ID. Okay, so that's it. Our markup is ready. Let me load this. Yeah, our markup is here. Now let's style this. Let me shrink this and let's head over to services.sass, and here first we'll have the services. We'll give it a display of flex direction of column, and a gap of 3 rem. After that we'll give it a margin of 10 rem to top and bottom, and we'll also provide padding. So we have padding to left and right of 10 rem. After padding, we'll select the service, give it a display of flex, a gap of 5 rem. We'll select the content, give it a display of flex direction of column, and a gap of 2 rem, and we'll also provide justify content of center. Now we will select the title and description. Let's copy that from features. We'll copy this, head over to services, paste it, and the title would have a font size of 2 rem. That's it. So our services section is styled. Now we will have to create this pricing and footer. So let's do that. So after this services section, we will have another section which has a class name of end container. This would be a container for both the pricing plans and the footer. So here first we'll have a container. It would have backgrounds. Inside the backgrounds we will have image. Image would be background3.svg. This would be background, and we'll have a class of background3. That's it. And after this backgrounds we will have a div of pricing plan. So inside the pricing plan we will have the title container first. Title container, we have h2.title, which is pricing plan. After that we have p.description. Let me copy that from here. And after the description we have the pricing. Inside that we have a plan. We have a plan title. We have h3 which says starter. Then we have h5 which says up to 3 users. Then after this plan title we have plan price. Then we have h1 inside with the price and h5 for the duration, so it is for per month. Then after this plan price we have a button for order. That's it. So this is the plan, and we will paste it 2 times, and we are just going to change the content. So the second one would have this as standard. This would be up to 20 users, and this would be $99 per month, and this would be up to 200 users, and this would be for premium, and this would be price $299 per month. So that's it. So the markup for our pricing plan is ready. Now let's style this. So first we'll go to the, I think we have to go to footer. So initially we'll have the end container there. Then we'll write clip path, polygon. This would be 0, 18%, and the rest would be 100%, 0, then again 100%, 0, and 0, and 100%. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I made a mistake here. So after this we have a height of 120 viewport height, and after that we have a background color of pink. Then we'll also provide position of relative. Okay, so let me shrink this so you can see that this is here. I think we have to give this percentage. Okay, this is 100%. Yeah, that's looking good now. Then after this position relative, we'll write overflow y of hidden. We'll select the container, give it a position of absolute, and a bottom of 0. Then we'll give it the width of 100% and a height of 126 viewport height. Now we'll give it a background color, so it would be on top of this pink background, so this would be primary color. And now we'll also provide a clip part to this, so we would have the effect, so it's not visible yet, but give it a padding of 0 and 10 rem. Okay, so we made a mistake here. This is 128 viewport height. Okay, so the design is here, and after this we'll select the backgrounds, give it a position absolute, and we'll give it a top of 0 and a right of 0. That's it. So it is here. Now we'll have the pricing plan. After this, so we'll select the dot pricing plan, we'll give it a Z index of 10, then we'll give it a margin top of 10 rem. We'll provide a display of flex direction of column, gap of 3 rem. We'll select the title container, and we'll give it a display of flex direction of column, gap of 2 rem. We'll give it a text align of center, then we'll select the title, give it a font size of 2 rem, color of white, and we'll select the description, give it a padding of 0 and 20 rem. After that we'll give it a color of where secondary color, and at last we'll give it a line height of 1 point. This is line height 1.5 rem. That's it. So the title is style and this is color. Okay, it's styled. Now after this description we'll have the pricing. We'll also provide it a Z index of 10, then we'll give it a display of flex, justify content of center, then we'll give it a gap of 4 rem. This is gap of 4 rem. After gap we'll select the plan, give it a Z index of 10, and we will give it a background color of where card color. Now let's give it a height of 22 rem and a width of 20 rem. Then we'll provide a border radius of 3 rem, give it a display of flex direction of column, and a justify content of center, and align items, not content, align items of center as well. After that we'll give it a gap of 2 rem, then we'll give it a text align of center. Now after this, what should we do? Let's select the title and give it the h3, and inside the h3 we'll give it a font size of 2 rem. This is font size. We'll give it a color would be white. Then we will select the h5 and give it a color of where secondary color. Now let's copy this title, paste it, and we will change this to price, and this would be h1 and the font size would be 3 rem. This would be h5 and color would be secondary color. Save it. That's it. Now we will have the button would have a color of white and color of white. Then we will have a padding of 0.7 rem and 3.4 rem. After that we'll give it a border radius of 2 rem. Then we will have a border of 3 pixels solid, and color would be the line color. Okay, now let's give it a background color of transparent. Also font family would be where font family. After the font family we'll have the font weight of bold. Then we will have the cursor as pointer. That's it. So it's almost styled, but now we will have this elevate effect to this and the background of white to the standard one. So here what I will do is I'll select nth of type, select the second one, save it, and now inside this I will first give it a background color of white. Then also transform it, translate y minus 20 pixels, so it has this elevate effect. And after that I will select the plan title, select the H3 and give it a color of where primary color. Then I'll select the plan price, select H1 and give it a color of primary color as well. And we will select the button, we'll give it a background color of where pink. Then we'll remove the border, so we'll write border none. Yeah, that's it. So this is styled. Now we also have this box shadow over this. Let's do this, the box shadow. So here we'll write box shadow. We have RGB of 0, 0, 0 and 0. Then we have 0 pixels, 20 pixels, 30 pixels and minus 10 pixels. That's it. So the shadow is here and our pricing container is completed. Now we will have the footer. Now let's head over to index.html, and after this div we will have the footer tag. Inside that we will have a brand. Inside that we will have our image. Image would be assets and this would be logo white. Then after this div we have a div with a links. Inside that we have UL. Then we have 4 li inside this. The first is product, second is pricing, third is FAQ, fourth is blog. So that's it. And after this div we have a div with a social class name. Inside that we have UL and inside that we have li, and inside that we have image. Image would be assets Facebook. That's it. We are going to copy this, paste it 2 times, and we'll just replace the name with Instagram and this would be Twitter. That's it. So markup for footer is ready. Let me reload this. It should be here. Okay, it's not here yet. We have to style this. Okay, so let's head over to footer.scss, and now after all of this we will write a footer tag, and let me shrink this and write margin top of 4 rem. Let's check the background color to red and see if it's visible. Okay, so that's here. we need to fix that. Display of flex, then we'll give it a justify content or space between. Okay, so we have made a mistake. Inside the index.html, the footer tag would come inside this div, so now it would be visible. Fix that. Then after this justify content center, we will have a border top of 3 pixel solid, and we will have where of line, it's there. Then after this we will have a padding top of 4 rem. Then we will have the links. We'll select the UL, give it a display of flex, gap of 2 rem, list style type of none, select the li. We'll first give it a color of secondary color. We'll give it a letter spacing of 0.1 rem and a cursor pointer. That's it. Then we will have our socials, so that is here. So after this div we will have our social. Select the UL, give it a display of flex, let's give it a display of none to see if it's working. Display none. Okay, it's not working, so let's check the class name. Social, it's the same. Okay, this should be outside of one bracket. Yeah, it's visible now. Display flex, gap of 2 rem and a list style type of none. We'll select the li, select the image and give it a cursor of pointer. Yeah, that's it. So our footer is also styled. Now we will have the scroll to top. Head over to index.html and at the top, inside the app, we will first have an a tag. This would be hash, and inside that we will have an image that would be assets and scroll logo.svg. This would be scroll logo, and this would have a class name of scroll to top. That's it. Now it should be here at the top. Now we need to style this and have a position fix, so it would be here. Okay, so let's copy this class name, head over to scroll to top, and here we will paste it. Let me have this side, and we'll give it a position of fixed. Then we'll give it a bottom of 40 pixels, right of 40 pixels, z index of not z index of 20. Then we will have a cursor of pointer. After that we will have a background color of primary color, and after that we'll have a border radius of 100%. Then we'll give it a display of flex, justify content of center, align items of center, and we will also give it a padding of 1 rem. Then we'll give it a transition of 0.5 seconds ease in out. So whenever it will appear, it will have the fade in effect, and whenever it will disappear, it will have the fade out effect. So for that we'll have the scroll visible which will have the visibility to visible and an opacity of 1, and then we will have the scroll hidden, and the visibility for that would be hidden and the opacity would be 0. So let's check this. Okay, that's working. Now we have to write the JavaScript logic to make it appear and disappear. So for that we will go to the script.js, and inside that we will first get the element, scroll to top is equals to document dot query selector. We'll have the class name. Now we'll add an event listener to the window object. So whenever the user scrolls, this function will execute. If the window.page y offset is less than 100, then we will have the scroll to top dot class list is equals to scroll to top plus scroll hidden. Let's copy this, and otherwise we have scroll visible. Save it. Okay, it's appearing and disappearing. So that's it. So our scroll to top is ready. Now let's add animations to this template. Let's head over to index.html, and at the end, before this script, we will write script source, and the source would be https unpackage.com/scroll reveal. So we'll be using the scroll reveal library for the animations. So that's done. Now let's head over to animations.js, and inside here we will have const sr is equals to scroll reveal. Inside this we will first have an origin of bottom, then we'll give it a distance property of 100 pixels, then we'll give it a duration of 2000 milliseconds and a reset of false. Also we'll give it an opacity of 1. Let's remove this opacity, we don't need that. Then we'll write sr.reveal. Here we'll pass an string. This would be nav, then this would be home container. This is the order of the animations. So we can write anything here, the HTML elements, then we can have the class name, or we can have the IDs. Then we have the image container. The order in which this is written is the order which the animation will run. Then we have features. Then we have service 1. We have service 2. Then we have service 3. And we have pricing plan. And at the end we have the footer, and after this string we will pass an object which would have interval of 200 milliseconds. So that's it. Now let's test this. The animations are working, as you can see. As we scroll, the animations are appearing. Okay, so that's done. Now we need to fix an bug inside script.js. We'll go there, and after 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second, we'll run and set timeout. This would be after 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. So after 1 second of the animations, we want to remove the transform properties from navbar and home, because of that we were having issues in the responsive nav. Then we have navbar dot style dot transform is equals to none. We will copy this and do this for home. Here we'll write home container. Yeah, that's it. So bug is fixed. Okay, so that's it. So our animations are here. Now we need to make this template responsive. As you can see that it is not at all responsive. So now we will make this template responsive. So now first we will have this home section responsive before the navbar. So let's head over to the home.scss and first we'll have this home images, and here we'll write media, screen, and min width of 280 pixels and max width of 1080 pixels. This is width, and we'll give it a display. Before that, let's copy the media query. So we'll just paste it to otherwhere. We'll write display of none. Okay, so images are not gone yet. Display none. Okay, images are gone. This is the background images. So that are gone. Now let's head over to the top here, and here we'll write the media query, and here first we'll give it a height of 140 viewport height. Let me shrink this so you can see it more perfectly. So height is 140 viewport height, and the main container would have an height of 138 viewport height. After that we will give it a padding of 0. Then for the backgrounds we will provide display of none. After that we'll select the home container, select the content, give it a width of 100%. Then we'll give it the height of max content. Max content. After that we'll give it a margin top of 2 rem, padding of 1 rem. We'll select the title container, select the home title image, and give it a display of block, and will also provide it a max inline size of 100%. Then we will select the title and give it a font size of 2 rem. So that's it. This is styled. Now we have to style this navbar. So let's do one thing. We will style this navbar at the end. Let's complete all other sections first. So now let's head over to features.scss, and inside that at the end we'll paste the media query. First we'll give it a padding of 0 and 1.3 rem. After that we'll give it a text align of start. Select the title container, select the description, and we'll give it a padding of 0. Give it a padding of 0. Okay, we have an issue here. That's it. Now we'll select content, give it a flex direction of column. Then we'll select the feature and give it a flex direction of row. and we will give it a align items of flex start. Also we'll give it a gap of 2 rem. So that's it. Features is styled. Now let's head over to services. Inside the services, at the end we'll paste the media query. We need to copy it again. Head over to features, copy, services, paste. Here at the end we'll give it a padding of 0 and 1.3 rem. After this we'll give it a text align of start. Let me scroll this. Then we'll give it a title container. Select the description inside and give it a padding of 0. Then after this we'll select the service, flex direction of column. We'll select the image. Inside that we'll select the image and we'll give it a max inline size of 100%. Then we will select the ampersand of type. We'll give it a flex direction of column reverse for the second one. Okay, so that's it. So services is also styled. Now we have this pricing and footer. Let's head over to footer. Here what should we do? Not sure. We can do one thing. We'll go to the footer end first and we'll style this. This won't be visible to you, but we'll just have this align items of center and we'll write links to display none. That's it. So that was for the footer. And now for the pricing plan, what we will do is go to here, and here we'll have our magic. We'll give it a height of 145 viewport height. We'll select the container, give it the height of 143 viewport height. Then we'll give it a padding of 0.1 rem. Padding of 0 and 1 rem. Then we'll select the pricing plan. We'll select the title container. Select the description. Padding of 0 and 0.2 rem. Then we'll select the pricing. We will give it a width of 80 viewport width. Overflow of auto. Then we will give it a display of flex. Justify content of flex start. After that we will have a gap of 3 rem. Padding left of 2.4 rem. And we'll have the WebKit scroll bar removed. We'll write display of none. And after this we'll select the plan, give it the height of 50 viewport height, and we'll provide a padding of 0 and 2 rem. We'll select ampersand of type 2. We'll remove the transform of none, and a box shadow of none, not box sizing, a box shadow of none. Okay, so that's it. So this is styled and this footer is also styled. Everything is complete, just we have to make this navbar responsive. So let's head over to navbar.scss. We have to do many things for the navbar to make it responsive. So here at the end we'll paste the media query. Give it a padding top first of 1 rem and a gap of 0. After this, we'll select the brand container, give it a display of flex, justify content space between, align items of center, width of 100%, padding of 1 rem, and the toggle would be block, display of block. Save it. So we have the toggle here. Now after this toggle, we have the links container. We will provide it a width of max content. Then we'll have a show class. It would have an opacity of 1. We'll mark this as important. After that, we have visibility of visible. We'll also mark this as important. After the visibility, we'll have the right. No, we don't need the right. We'll just give it a width of 60 viewport width. After show, we will have an UL and the position would be absolute. Top would be 0. After top, we have right, which would be 0. Right, 0. Then we have background color of where pink. After that, we have a height of 100 viewport height. After that, we have a width of 0. Then we have visibility of hidden. Then we will have an opacity of 0. We will give it a flex direction of column. Justify content of center. Align items of center, and a transition of 0.5 seconds is in out. So this would be hidden as of now. We will have that visible on the click of the toggle button. Then all the LI would have the white color. Then we don't need the auth buttons. So this should be here. Auth buttons, and we'll provide a display of none. Okay, now on the click of this toggle button, we will have the navbar open and close. So let's head over to script.js for writing the JavaScript. Inside here, Control V, script, and here we'll have the const HTML is equals to document dot query selector HTML. Save it. After that, we will also have the toggle responsive toggle is equals to document dot query selector, and this is toggle. Let's check it if we have given the ID to the toggle. Search for toggle. No, we haven't provided an ID. We will write an ID is equals to toggle. Head over to script.js. Now we will have the toggle. Now whenever we click on this responsive toggle, first we will stop the event propagation, and for the responsive, okay, we also need the responsive navbar, so we'll have that responsive navbar is equals to document dot query selector, and this would be links container UL. Now inside here we'll have responsive navbar dot class list dot toggle, and we'll pass the show. Okay, it's coming, but for closing we have to write the JavaScript code. So we'll write HTML dot add event listener, and whenever we click on the HTML we want to close the navbar. So we'll write responsive navbar dot class list dot remove the show class. Let's check that. Okay, this is HTML. Okay, it's closing, but when we click inside here then also it's closing, and for that we will write responsive navbar dot add event listener, and whenever we click inside this we want to stop the event propagation. Event e dot stop propagation. That's it. Okay, it's still not working. This is responsive navbar. Okay, it's not closing now. When we click outside of this it will close. So yeah, that's it. So this template is responsive and it's ready. So let me give you a final demo. This is the responsive mode. This is the responsive navbar. This is scroll to top, and this is the laptop mode. That's it for the video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you have any questions you can always ask them in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. See you next time.